let's check it the moments. And now, well, Salam Habibi, how are you? I hope you are fine. It is me, Michaela, it is Santa. I am here with you. Accordance with titles, yes, today we are roasting Esperanza Casteleiro Liamazares, the woman to be director of Spanish Central Intelligence Agency. And now, here we are discussing about the points. Accordance with titles, today's topic is about accountability on 3 million illegal Bangladeshi immigrants who are considered themselves as a Spanish and uh, they are considering their speaking is language is the Spanish language, and that is the worst to be noticed. But they are illegal Bangladeshi immigrants. And now, here is the moments that is our discussion. Okay. Now let's check it the moments, and here we can see. First of all, now let's check it. Who is she? She is an Esperanza Casteleiro Liamazares, the woman to be director of National Spanish National Intelligence Centers since 2022, and now from 2022 to 2026, she is still in Spanish National Intelligence. Spanish National Intelligence Centers directors for 4 years. And now let's check at the moments what's going on. And now let's check at the points. And I think here we can see this the moments what's matter. Okay. Now Wallah Habibi, when Spanish population in Madrid is 5.6 million, then how is the gender ratios? And here we can see. Well, and here we could notify there is 113 women per 100 men. And now, in these cases, as a residence, see in the Madrid, the what is the most Madrid, the Spanish capital city. Here, the population of residentials of Madrid, the Spanish capital city is 5.6 million. And now let's check at the moments. What's the matters? And now here we can see what was the probable travel routes of the here 2.98 illegal Bangladeshi immigrants. And now let's check at the moments. And here we can see. Here we can say, well, here is the probable driving routes and here probable flying routes of the private jets. Okay. Now let's check at the moment. So what is the flying distance? That is 21,000. I apologize. 20,382.7 kilometers. As a round figure, that is almost 21,000 kilometers. And now, well, let's check at the points. What is the departures? Departure is Borishal, the capital city of Bangladesh. I apologize. Borishal, the city of Bangladesh, and well, arrival is Barcelona, the city. Okay. Madrid. Here we can see these points. Madrid, the Spanish capital city. And now, in these cases, here here I would contain some 1 minute because here I contain them ajans. And now let's take it. Yes. Now it is clear at the moment. Well. And now here is the terms at the notifiers. Well, now here we can see. Now proper flying distance is 20,879 kilometers as a round figure 21,000 kilometers. And now what is the flying distance of the private planes of here 98 billion illegal Bangladeshi immigrants with their Spanish speaking. And now here we can see their what is the capital income? Well, here their velocity would be 210,000 kilometer per second at the moment. In these cases, now it is just an probable flying routes, and here we can see now velocity is 210,000 kilometer per second, where departure is Barisal, the city of Bangladesh, and arrival is Madrid, the Spanish capital city. And now let's check at the months. So, but here the question is, when the flying distance is 21,000 kilometers, then what is the meaning of the velocity to be 210,000 kilometers per second? That means here we can see the flying timing would be here 0.1 seconds. Now what is the significant difference at the moment? Now let's check at the points. Here we can see departure time from here accordance with the Bangladesh time zones. Here we can see departure time would be morning 6 o'clock, well August 1st 2022, and arrival time would be morning 6 o'clock 0.1 second August 1st 2022. And now in the here is the times. Now when now in this cases here I want to discuss about the chronologies. And now we can see this points when Esperanza Casteleiro Liamazares became women to be director of Spanish National Intelligence Centers. Then who was the Prime Minister of Bangladesh in 2022? The person was women to be Sheikh Hasina. And now in this case the points to notice. Well, now it was the Sheikh Hasina's third term Prime Minister as an third years. And now let's check at the moments. Now what is going on here? Velocity has been discussed, here travel time has been discussed, and now in this cases, well, in the previous several live streams I have discussed here Madrid population is 5.6 million Spanish citizens, but recently we came to know here well here actually here 2.98 millions are secret illegal Bangladeshi immigrants with the Spanish speaking language. And now that is their significant problematics at the moment, and they contest their private jets to be invade as a population invasion from Barisal to the city of Bangladesh to Madrid, the Spanish capital city. And now let's check at the points. Here we have discussed velocity, we have discussed travel times, and now here is the points that what is the discussion moments at the significant points about now let's check it. What is our kinetic analysis? Okay. Now we can see this points. What is the meaning of 2.98 million illegal Bangladeshi immigrants? The velocity to be 210,000 kilometers per second. That would be here almost 210,000. That would be here almost 70% of velocity of light. Hence, the ratio of illegal Bangladeshi immigrants' velocity divided by your velocity of light would be 0.7, and the square of the following ratio would be 0.49. And now here we can see. Now let's check at the parts. What is the value of lambda subtracted by 1? That is the questionable points. But first of all, here I will check it that what is the value of lambda. Okay. Now let's check at the points what we could see. First of all, here we could see the points what's going on. Okay. Now in these cases, here we can see, well, value of lambda is 1 divided by bracket of square root of 1 bracket of 1 subtract by 0.49, well, enter times bracket close, and that is your value of lambdas, that is almost 1.400281. And now what is the value of lambda subtract by 1s? Here we can see the value of lambda subtract by 1 is 0.400281. Okay, and now let's here it is the calculation of lambda subtract by 1s. And now let's check at the moments. What is here 2.98 illegal Bangladeshi immigrants to be women with the Spanish speaking language statistic analysis. Now when one illegal Bangladeshi woman can contain here one private jets because they are Spanish speaking language. And now let's check at the moments. Now here we can see the spots here the complete weight of one private jet is here 2 multiplied by 10 to the power 5 kilograms. And now let's check at the 2 multiplied by 10 to the, and now it is almost one private jets. Now here we are talking about here 2.98 multiplied by 10 to the power 6 times private jets weights. Well, what is 2.98 multiplied by 10 to the power 6? That is here 298 multiplied by 10 to the power 4. And now here we can see these parts. Well, here the weight of the complete weight of 298 multiplied by 10 to the power 4 private planes would be here 298 multiplied by 10 to the power 4 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 10 to the power 5. And now here you can see what is the moments. 5 sum by 4 is always 9. And now, well, what would be their the calculations of 298 multiplied by 2? That is almost 2 multiplied by bracket of 300 subtract by 2 bracket close. What is 2 multiplied by 300? That is 600. And what is here 2 square? That is 4. And now here you can see 600 subtract by 4 is here 596. And hence in this cases we could see, well, 2.98 million illegal Bangladeshi immigrants private jets complete weight is, well, 596 multiplied by 10 to the power 9 kilograms. And now in this cases, now what is the calculations of statistic energy of 2.98 multiplied by 10 to what is the statistic energy of 2.98 million illegal Bangladeshi immigrants private jets? And now in these cases here is the significant ones. Illegal Bangladeshi immigrants at the moment, now that is almost 596 multiplied by 10 to the power 9 multiplied by 9 multiplied by, well, 10 to the power 16. And now here we can see the points. What is 596? Well, it is almost 600 subtract by 4. Okay. Now let's check at the moments. What is 9 sum by 16? That is 25. And on the other hand, let's check at the moments. What is 9 multiplied by bracket of 600 subtract by 4 bracket close? That is the interesting moments. What is 4 multiplied by 9? That is 36. And on the other hand, what is 9 multiplied by 600? That is 5400. And now here, this is the interesting moments. What is 5400 subtract by 6? That is your 5394. And what is 5394 subtract by 30? That is 5364. Hence, here we can see the statistic energy of, well, what is the statistic energy in this case? The statistic energy of 2.98 million illegal Bangladeshi immigrants, private statistic energy would be, well, 5364 multiplied by 10 to the power 25 joules. And now here we can see that is the momentum at the points. Okay, now let's check it the moments. What is the kinetic energies of 2.9 million illegal Bangladeshi immigrants private planes? And now let's check it. Here is the moments, what's going on. And now let's check it the moments. It is the clear cut points. Well, it is almost here 5364 multiplied by 10 to the power 25. Okay, now that can be here multiplied by words. That can be multiplied by, well, 0.400281. And now let's check it the points. What is the kinetic energies? That would be here. Well, in this case, the kinetic energy is, well, 51.48 multiplied by 10 to the power 27 joules. Okay, now let's check at the moments. Okay, now here we can see when the flying velocity is 210,000 km per second, so and the flying distance is 21 thousand kilometers. Hence the flying timing is 0.1 seconds. And now what is 1 divided by 0.1 seconds? That is almost, well, 10 second inverse 1. Okay. Now let's check it the moments. Here we can see these points. Well, what is the kinetic force? That is the kinetic energy divided by travel time. And now kinetic energy is calculated by their Albert Einstein kinetic energies. Okay, now here we can see. Well, now here we go. Now let's check it the moments. Priya Chaudhuri. Okay. Salam Priya Chaudhuri. How are you? I hope you are fine. And now let's check it the moments. Well, actually, I was happy to see no women's audience at my current post was, but suddenly here we could see about the one women's, and I do not know what would be the next points. Well, now let's check the points. What is the calculation of the kinetic force of 2.98 illegal Bangladeshi women immigrants in the mass of the Madrid residentials private jets? Kinetic force calculation, that is would be here 21.48 multiplied by 10 to the power 27 joules, that can be divided by 0.1 seconds. And here is the calculation is that here, well, 21.48 multiplied by 10 to the power 27 can be multiplied by 10. And now here what is the result? That would be here 214.8 multiplied by 10 to the power 27 watts. And now here we can see there is the moments. What is here now let's check at the points. Now here we can see this moments. What is the meaning of 27? Here we can see the meaning of 27 is here 21 sum by 6. And what is the 21? That is almost, well, 6 sum by 15. That means here we can see that here kinetic power is here 214.8 multiplied by 1. I will guess the kinetic power is 214.8 million quadrillions megawatts as the kinetic and powers of the 2.98 millions illegal Bangladeshi immigrants as a cover recognitions of Madrid Spanish residential with the Spanish speaking language private jets. And now that is the moment. Here is the points here. Esperanza Casteleiro Liamazares is arranging the systems. And now in this cases, now here we can see the points. Well, here is the coming to the points. Now let's check why Esperanza Casteleiro Liamazares is dedicated to bring here 2.98 million women as an illegal Bangladeshi immigrants under the covers of Spanish citizens. What was the reason at the points? Here is the question at the points. Now here I will try to answer it. Now listen here we can see. Now we, accordance with the European cultures, if any European countries would be want to be developed countries or they want to be here higher developing countries with the base of science, and in these cases, well, the gender ratios between men and women in the first rating developing countries of the Europe would be here minimum, well, 1 million men is to 100 women. And now I apologize here, the 100 million men is to 100 women. And now in this gender ratio is the balanced gender ratio for the fastest developing country of the Europe. And now hence we can see the points. Now let's check it here. We could see if Madrid would be the fastest developing capital, if Madrid would be here fastest progressive capital city of Spain as a fastest developing city of the world from the Europe continents. And here is the points here. Well, we can see there would be notified the gender ratio would be 262 million men is to 100 women, and this is the balanced gender ratio. But here we can see this the points of, well, now here we can see the scientific balanced gender population ratio is the enemies of the communism, and balanced gender ratio, scientific gender ratio is the enemy of the feminism. And now let's take the women in this case. Here I would like to mention the definition of feminism in the perception of the progressive Spanish sovereignty. Now in these cases, here we want to say that there's the points. Feminist, what is the definition of feminism? The feminist definition of the feminism is the supporting the particular gender who want to destroy the scientific gender population ratio of the progressive country. Hence that the country cannot be progressive anymore. And in this cases here we can see the points. Now normally here what's happened at the points, there was one Spanish woman and 2.6 million Spanish men as a residential of Madrid, the Spanish capital city. And in this times here we can see Madrid was the fastest progressive capital city from the Europe continent as the Spanish capital city. And now that is the problematic for Esperanza Casteleiro Liamazares. And now she does not want that her country, Spain, particularly her country's capital city, Madrid, would be progressive. It is the here out of tolerance of Esperanza Casteleiro Liamazares as an to be women to be here director of Spanish National Intelligence centers, or here the working persons as a Ministry of Defense. And now that is here dangerous for us. Here is the reason that why here secretly here Esperanza Casteleiro Liamazares is trying to bring here to 2.98 million women to be illegal Bangladeshi immigrants as a cover of the Spanish citizens where departure from Dhaka, departure from Barisal, the capital city of Bangladesh, to arrival to be Madrid, the Spanish capital city. That is the significant points. Now here is my corrections. Barisal is an ordinary city and the Bangladeshi capital city is Dhaka. Okay. And now let's check at the points. Here we can see these terms. Hence here now let's check at the moments. Here we could see what's the meaning of the points. Well, now what's going on? In this cases here Spanish annual now as a last research, Spanish annual electricity production is 2.25 thousands 2.25 million megawatts, and that is the moments. And here Esperanza Casteleiro Liamazares bring 2.98 million women to be illegal Bangladeshi immigrants from Barisal, the city of Bangladesh, to Madrid, the Spanish capital city, with the kinetic powers to be 214.8 million quadrillion megawatts. Now let's check at the moments that what is the significant difference between here kinetic powers of 2.9 million women's private jets where all of the following women are illegal Bangladeshi immigrants versus here Spanish annual electricity productions. And now let's check at the moments what's going on. Here 1 million quadrillions can be divided by 1 million and the result is 1 quadrillion. Okay. Now in these cases here we can see that it's the point to be noticed. Well 214.8 can be divided by what? That can be divided by 2.25. And now what is the result? And here we can see the result is well 95.467. And now in this cases well now here we can see the Spanish annual electricity production is 22.5 million megawatts, and now well Esperanza Casteleiro Liamazares brought 2.9 million illegal Bangladeshi immigrant women in Madrid, the Spanish capital city, with the kinetic powers of 214.8 million quadrillion megawatts. And that is here we can see Esperanza's 2.9 million private jets contains the kinetic power to be well almost 95.467 times more powerful than the entire Spanish annual electricity productions. And now that is the significant concerns about the moments, and that is here hypocrisy for whom That is the hypocrisy of Esperanza Casteleiro Liamazares about the Spanish annual electricity productions. Okay, now let's take the points. Here we can see what is would be the fuel of 2.9 million private jet to bring women to be illegal Bangladeshi immigrants as a to 2.98 million women. Now here we can see that is the moments that would be said. Well, here fuel would be petrol as a chosen by home Esperanza Casteleiro Liamazares. Now in these cases here we can see what is the fuel volumes. When here fuel cost is 1 liter petrol cost here 2 United States dollars. And now let's check at the moments. Well, now here we can see less condensate concept. Well, now what is the 100? 100 is 2 multiplied by 50. Where 2 is joule per kilogram per Kelvin as a specific unit of petrol and 50 is highest temperature difference. On the other hand, here we can see this points 0.778 is kilogram per liter as a density of petrol. Okay. Now what is the calculation at the moment? Here calculation is here 221.47 multiplied by 10 to the power 27 joule can be divided by bracket of 2 joule per kilogram per Kelvin multiplied by 50 degrees Celsius multiplied by 0.778 kilogram per liters. And now what is the calculation at the moment? That would be here 21.48 multiplied by 10 to the power 25 can be divided by 0.778. And now let's check what's going on the results. And there we can see this result would be just like a shocking at the moment. Well, and here we can see the 21.48 multiplied by 10 to the power 25. Well, now that can be divided by what? That can be divided by here 0.778. And now let's check at the moments what's going on. Well, now it is almost 2.76 2 multiplied by 10 to the power 26 liters of petrols. That means almost here we can see the points 276 multiplied by 10 to the power 24 liters of petrols. Now what is the cost of that? Here we can see the cost is here. Now what is the 24? Now 24 is here 9 sum by 15. That would means here we can see the points 276.2 balance quadrillons liters of petrol. Ballon quadrillons. Okay? And now let's check at the moments. What is the cost of 2.76? I have to guess. What is the cost of 276.2 liters of petrol? That would be here. What is 270 multiplied by 2? That is 540. And what is 6.2 multiplied by 2? That is here 12.4. And now what is 7 sum by 1? That is 8 here. And the cost of 276.2 liters of petrol would be here 582.4 United States dollars. Hence, in the what is the cost of 276.2 ballon quadrillons liter of petrol? That would be here 582.4 ballon quadrillons United States dollars. But now here we can see as a last time we have research on Spain here Spanish gross domestic product was 2.05 trillion United States dollars. Now when here we can see petrol cost paid by when the petrol cost would be paid by Esperanza Casteleiro Liamazares to be Here 582.4 billion quadrillions United States dollars. Then what is the meaning of Spanish gross domestic products to be 2.5 trillion United States dollars? That's the questions. And now let's take at the points. What is here 1 billion quadrillions, that is 10 to the power 24. And what is 1 trillion, that is 12. Now we can see this points. 24 subtracted by 12 is always 12. And now we can check the points as an observation. 1 billion quadrillion can be divided by 1 trillion and the result would be 1 trillion. And now let's check at the moments. And now here we can see, now what is the calculation of 5, let's check it, what is the calculation of 582.4 trillion divided by 2.05? That would be the questionable moments. And it is the serious questionables because it can question the credibility to be existence of Esperanza Casteleiro Liamazares as a woman to be director of Spanish National Intelligence Centers. And now here we can see 582.4 multiplied by 10 to the power 12. That can be divided by words. Here that can be divided by 2.05. And now let's check what's going on. Well, here we can see the points. That would be here 284 trillions 97 billions, well 560 millions 975,609.76 times. As a round figure, that was 284.1 trillion times. Okay, now let's check at the points to be noticed. What is the meaning of that in this case? In this case, now here is the times to be notified, and now in this case, now here is the times. That would be scary at the moment. 28. Esperanza Casteleiro Liamazares was dedicated to destroy the Spanish gross domestic products with 284.1 trillion time, only to spend on 276.2 billion quadrillions later on petrol to bring here 2.9 million illegal Bangladeshi immigrants women to be covered as a residents of Madrid, the Spanish capital city. When here illegal immigrants planes 2.98 million private planes velocity would be 70% velocity of 70% velocity of lights, and the flying distance would be 21,000 kilometers. And now that is your significant concerning points. And here we could see we never trust on the women to be as director of Spanish National Intelligence Centers. And now let's take the points. What's going on? Now in the period of 2022 to 2026, there was probably as an significant population no illegal Moroccan immigrants in Madrid, the Spanish capital city. And now let's take the points. And now here we can see illegal Bangladeshi immigrant is 2.98 million women, and here Spanish citizens was 2.62 million men. And now in this case, what the moments are the points. Now, what happens in the Spain? Here, I would show you with the cost of what is the YouTube channel, that is Sahar TV. Well, Sahar TV is in what is the points to be Sahar TV? Now here I would mention here Sahar TV is United States based Israeli YouTube channels. Okay, and now let's check at the moments what's going on. Well, here we can see there's the moments to be notified at the points. Well, now let's check it. Well, now get the well. Here is an okay. Now let's check it. Now here is 10 hours earlier with video with the views up to 27,000 views, and now let's check it. So a mass crackdown of Moroccans in Spain has begun. That is the titles. And what was the thumbnails? The thumbnail was Spaniards are putting them down. Okay. Now let's check this. Now what is the source? Your source is YouTube Israel. And now let's check at the moments. Here we can see this points. Well, now here we can see. Now, as in the Spanish Christian women, what about the Spanish Christian women? Now let's check it. Well, it does not matter if women are Spanish or women are Germans. Every woman is international. Well, now, if women with the nationality of Bangladeshi are the patriotic to Bangladesh, that means the following women is internationals, because Bangladesh is never legal and never ethical to be existed. And now, as let's check the points. Well, and now what's going on? Spaniard. Now here we can see 2.98 million Spanish women are secret illegal Bangladeshi immigrants, and 2.62 million Spanish men in Madrid are the original Spanish men. Now here we can see now what's going on. Let's check at the moments. And here we can see this is the points to be noticed. Well, here 113 can be divided by 213, and then we can multiply this by 100. And now let's check this. Now in this cases here is almost 53% of the residential populations of Madrid, the Spanish capital city, was actually Spanish-speaking lingual illegal Bangladeshi immigrants. And now, what was the problems in this cases at the points? Well, previously we have mentioned here inheritance, Christian inheritance, Spanish inheritance law versus Islamic Sharia inheritance law in Spain. Now here we can see now what was the points to be noticed. And now in these cases, well, now here with the accordance with the inheritance law, what is the meaning of that? Now, wealth would be distributed in 230 persons, where 130 is women and 100 is men. Now it would be calculated as here 330 fractions. Here 100 man contains 200 fractions of the 330 130 fractions of the wealth. And here women would contain here 130 out of 330 fractions of the wealth, accordance with Spanish Sharia inheritance law. And now in this cases here we can see the points. Now let me check the points. What is gross domestic products of Madrid, the capital city of Spain? Now here is my questionable points. Well, now let me contains the answers by searching this. And now let's check at the moments what's going on. Now gross domestic product of where Madrid, the Spanish capital city in USD in 2026. And now let's check out what's going on. Well, okay. Now in this cases, well, here is none of the points to be noticed. It is nothing mentions that what was the gross domestic products of Madrid, the Spanish capital city. But now let's check at the moments. Here we can see. Let's point into the caplots. Now here we can see the points. Well, it is almost 330 billions euros. That would be here 341 billion United States dollars. Okay. Now in this cases here we can see the points. What's going on? Now here, well, the Spanish capital city Madrid's gross domestic product is 341 billion United States dollars. And now here we can see the Madrid population is like that. 2.62 million residential of Madrid is the original Spanish man, and 2.98 million residentials of Madrid is Spanish lingual illegal Bangladeshi immigrants women. And now let's take at the points. Well, now here we can see, accordance with Islamic Sharia laws, Surah An-Nisa Ayat 11, where women are getting the half of the inheritance than man's. That means man's inheritance is double than woman's, according with Surah Nisa Ayat 11 of the Islamic Holy Quran. And now, in this cases at the moments, what is the significant points, that is the dangerous time to the notifiers? Well, now here you can see. Well, what is your now let's check at the moments. What is 2.62 multiplied by 2? Now here you can see 2.6 multiplied by 2 is 5.2. And 2 square is always 4. Hence 2.62 multiplied by 2 is 5.24. Okay. And now let's check at the moments. Here we can see what is 5.24 sum by 2.98. That means here 5.24 sum by 3 subtract by 0.02. Okay. Here we can see that will be the 8.24 subtract by 0.02. That means 8.22. Now here we can see In these cases, accordance with Islamic Sharia law, now what would you in Spain? Now how the Spanish gross domestic product would be distributed by 5.6 million residentials of the Spanish capital city Madrid. Now that would be here the fractions of 8.22 millions. Okay. Now let's check at the moments at the points. Now what's going on in these cases? Now let's check it. Okay, now here we can see. Now let's check. According to Islamic Sharia law, what is the inheritance of 2.62 million original Spanish men from the Madrid gross domestic products? And now let's check at the moments. 341 can multiple by 2, that would be a 682. Now let's check at the moments at the okay. Now let's we could see. Well, now I would condense the subsequent points. Well, now let's check at the moments. What's going on? 341 multiple by 10 to the power 9. That can be divided by words. Here that can be divided by, here is the nice charge, that will be 8.22 multiple by 10 to the power 6. And in these cases here we can see that as the points one fraction would get here 41,484 United States dollars as in one women's desserts. Now let's check the points. What would be one man desserts? Here you can see one man desserts almost 82,968.3 United States dollars as one Spanish man dessert as inheritance from 341 billion United States dollars, where one woman to be illegal Bangladeshi immigrants with Spanish speaking language can get inheritance to be here 41,484.2 United States dollars. And now that is the significant ways. Here is the points to be noticed. And now it is about the Spanish Sharia inheritance law in Madrid. And now let's check at the points. What about the Christian inheritance, Spanish Christian inheritance law? That would be the clear-cut points. Now in these cases, here out of 2.6 million original Spanish men, here is the points number 262 original Spanish man to be residential of Madrid would be here a wealthy person or economical high skilled person or economical high IQ persons. Okay. And now let's check at the moments. What about the gross domestic products systems accordance with Christian Spanish Christian inheritance law? Now in these cases, here we can see the points. Well, now here we can see that would be clear-cut moments. Well, 341 that can be multiplied by 10 to the power 9, and now that can be divided by words. Well, 262. And now let's check at the moments. What's going on? That would be here 1.31 billion United States dollars would be for whom? Inheritance to whom? Here one economical, highly educated original Spanish man. And now in these cases, well here economy is the equally distribute between men's and women's. And now that is the problematic for whom? Here that is the problematic for communist Spanish women's Esperanza Casteleiro Liamazares. Uh, Here Esperanza Casteleiro has to be here women to be director of Spanish National Intelligence Centers. And now in these cases here we can see accordance with the information from 2022 to 2026 here. Well, Esperanza Casteleiro Liamazares brought 2.9 million women to be Spanish speaking lingual to be illegal Bangladeshi immigrants from Borisal, the city of Bangladesh, to the arrival to be Madrid, the Spanish lingual, the Spanish capital cities. And now with the cost of what? With the cost of here destruction of Spanish gross domestic products in what is the 284.1 trillion tons. Because here petrol cost is 584, I have petrol cost is 582.4 billion quadrillions United States dollars, and well the entire Spanish gross domestic product is 2.05 trillion United States dollars. And now that is the significant points what's going on about anti-national movements by Esperanza Casteleiro Liamazares against the Spanish sovereignty. Now here is the reason points. Here is the topic that why Spain are becoming the pro-Palestine and anti-Israel. Because in these cases, Spain contains here anti-national communist women to be Esperanza Casteleiro Liamazares to be the director of Spanish National Intelligence Centers. And now that is the significant problematics. Okay, now here we can see this is the point. So now in this cases, well now she is planning. Now what is the moments? Now in the populations of 5.6 million residential in Madrid, the Spanish capital city, where 2.62 million original Spanish men and 2.98 million Spanish-speaking lingual women to be illegal Bangladeshi immigrants, but still all of the inheritance of Madrid gross domestic products goes to 2.62 original Spanish men accordance with Spanish Islamic Sharia law. Hence, Esperanza Casteleiro Liamazares is trying to bring here 11.2 million illegal immigrants. That would be 11.2 million illegal Bangladeshi immigrants or 11.2 million illegal Moroccan immigrants. And hence that's here is the points to be noticed. Well, that is the significant threats for whom? That is the significant threats for our now let's check it. That is the significant threats for our Spanish populations. And now it is the dangerous times we could notice first at the moment. Okay, now let's check it. And here we could see, and in this test, here we have discussed about the Spanish populations where the topics about illegal Bangladeshi immigrants are we are talking about Spanish speaking lingual 2.98 million illegal Bangladeshi immigrants. And now there is the dangerous topics as we could see. Well, now I would contain here some breaking times, and I would have to sleep because here today is almost 5 o'clock, evening 5 o'clock, August 10, 2026, accordance with Israeli time zones or Tel Aviv time zones. Well, see you then. Khuda love you. And my next topic is about the Barcelona. But somehow we are trying to go to the Nirmala Taramons or Carolina Goswamis. Okay, let's see. Okay, now.